Hello everybody and welcome back. Been on a little bit of a hiatus, but you know what? We're back. We have finally made the man, the myth, the legend Potemkin. Our favorite grappler. He's here. I made him into a Lego Blender minifigure. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I made him, all the ups and downs I went through making him, and let's just get started. So, to start with, I wanted to get a bigfig model. A bigfig, if you guys don't know, is one of those minifigures that are like Hulk, right? You can see on screen. I think I got the what is his name? I'm blanking on his name, but he's a Marvel character. Kingpin, yeah, Kingpin. I got Kingpin as the beginning, and unfortunately, we're having the same issue as Chip, where it was a little choppy and laggy. But whatever, you guys are just gonna have to deal with that because this took 4 hours. This took so long. But yeah. So I wanted to start with making this guy a belt, and the way I thought of doing that was curving like a bar, and I went through so many challenges because I realized that if I moved it, it would just rotate. It was really weird. I didn't really seem to understand it that well, but as time goes on, I do get it to work. You'll see it disappear and reappear, but it will be in the end, product. But yeah, I was just trying a bunch of different belt things. Sorry if you saw speed there. But yeah, I was just trying to get a bunch of different things for his belt. The reason why I chose Kingpin instead of the Hulk is because of just the clothing that he's wearing. Didn't really want to model too much because I'm not the best at it. And I didn't even model that much in this, to be fair with you guys. But I just decided, I'm going to take it slow. I'm not the best at modeling, and I just want to make a cool minifigure. So I might as well just make the easy stuff easy. So I decided to make like a little belt for him. You can see me making the belt buckle, which I will, it's really choppy, which I do complete. And you can see the Potemkin model that I was working with. And you could also see some of the parts that I'm going to be turning into his, little, I don't know what they are. There's things on his pectorals, those little things, part of his armor. You see that what I'm going to be doing to turn those into what they are. And at this point, I just deleted the Hulk minifigure, and I just appended or put the extra parts that I'm going to be using in to the actual Blender file. And I realized that if I was to copy the color for a block, or copy the texture nodes or whatever, it was also going to change the color of the thing that I'm copying. So I just made a bunch of different bricks with different colors that I can change, so it won't mess up any of the extra part things that I'll be needing. And now we start the painting process, and this was a very painful process because unlike any other minifigure that I've done in the past where it's just like a print-on thing, I had to paint it on like this because there wasn't an outline to follow, and it was very annoying. And I also noticed, thank you to my friend who pointed this out, well, I noticed it too, but he gave me a good workaround. It's super pixelated, and it just doesn't look good. Like, as you can see right here, the pixelation just makes it look super low quality, and it was just not the best looking. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna try and find a workaround, or just try something to fix this. I was also having an issue where the brush that I was using was like super, it was like a highlighter. It was just so weird. But I did learn. And then I opened up Krita trying to do different things, realized that I can't just do this like this because there's stupid things in the way. But I made a pretty drippy Kingpin, I guess. But yeah, this process was probably the longest part. Very, very time consuming. Yeah, you can see the weird pressure stuff going on, but I did find a workaround. I just decided to make the base model, and then I started working on the thing. And then I realized if I can just go into my Krita software and make a thing that's more pixels than the original thing and just replace that texture, that I'll get a way higher def thing. And yeah, I just did that. So it looks a lot better. And I am noticing that I used a lighter shade of green, which I kind of regret. Potemkin is a very darker shade of green than that, but I can either fix that later or just deal with it. I don't really care too much. But yeah. So now I'm just going in coloring. Still a very time consuming process, and I had to be very careful with it because of certain things. Like, that little white stuff that he has on him, that little white band. At first it looks kind of, crappy, but I did go into Krita as well to tidy stuff up. He kind of looks like Shrek right now, which is kind of funny. And also, if you notice, I did delete the belt because it wasn't working the way I wanted it to. And I tried drawing it on later. You'll see, it did not work. That was a big mistake. It didn't work. But yeah, now I'm in Krita. Now I'm just making it a lot more smoother and straight, because if it isn't straight, it's just gonna look like crap and very ugly. And I also made it stop at like the seam line, which I thought was kind of I guess realistic to actual big figs, because they don't really usually put printing on the back. But yeah, I started going in, tidying up the collar that he has, and now the collar isn't like extremely accurate to Potemkin, but I don't know how to model. I don't know how to model. Oh, this is me reading a tweet, sorry. I don't know how to model anything. I'm very bad at it. So I just decided, you know what, this is the best we're gonna get. So yeah, just rolled with it. And now you can see me working on more of the collar stuff, using Krita just to make it smooth and nice. And I think that turned out alright. And then this is me trying to draw on the belt, and I realized that this surface is super bumpy, so I'm gonna have to draw it on manually. It just did not look good. Yeah, it just didn't look good. And then I tried adding pockets. The pockets aren't the main thing. I just couldn't get it to work well. But you know, it's a process. I guess you just gotta. It's a live and learn process, you know. You just gotta see what works and see what doesn't, and obviously this was the thing that didn't work. And now I think I was trying to go in to fix the weird bumpy surface, but it just didn't work. And now you can see Potemkin looking kind of weird with his red head. That does get fixed later, don't worry. But this is me trying to add the belt back again because I couldn't get it to work. And I do get this belt to look kind of nice, but I did make the belt buckle a little more simple. Honestly, more of a downgrade if you ask me. But, you know, if this was a real minifigure or a big fig, sorry, I was on a Discord call during this, but if this was an actual big fig, I don't think they would put too much detail in the modeling, like, because that's a very small feature, so I guess you can kind of look past it. But either way, I don't think it really takes away from anything. But yeah, and then this is me just painting the boots. This wasn't too bad. This was actually pretty easy. The boots was an easy process, and then I just had to tidy up what I messed up. And it's still a little laggy, but, you know, it's whatever. I don't really know what's causing that. Maybe it's just something with my storage. I'll try and figure that out next time. Because next guy is Faust, and Faust is going to be really fun to make because he's one of my favorite characters in this game. Oh yeah, and I was trying to draw on abs. Don't let me cook. Yeah, I can't draw abs. I do draw sometimes, but human anatomy sucks for me. But yeah, I did add pectorals because that's a pretty prominent feature on the guy, and I just wanted to highlight it. And now I was trying to figure out how to do these arms. Because for some reason they're not connected, but connected and textured wrong and just weird. So I decided, you know, I'm just gonna get two different, like an arm from a different big figure, and just mirror it. And I did that thing with the belt that I was talking about and the bricks, wanting to change the color so nothing bad would happen. But yeah, there we go. I don't know what we were talking about there. But yeah. Now I was working on those pectoral like plus things that he has. I made those with Lego bricks, and I think it didn't turn out too bad. And I used a clock texture because it was just easy to change. And you'll see me go in there and change it up. At first it didn't really look too good. I didn't understand what was going on. There was like a weird bug. Not a bug, but it was just me being stupid. And I was like, oh, what the heck? So I had to redo it. It's whatever. I did get it eventually. I could have made the texture a little better, but I think it looks fine. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about it. It looks okay. Probably could use it like a different red. And then I worked on adding this guy's shoulder pads that he has, which are spiked but really small. So I was like, oh, there's a perfect Lego piece for that. So I cut it in half, mirrored it on the other side, made it look okay. And now I was like, oh, these gloves aren't good. And my friend was like, yo, use Thanos' gloves. They kind of look like it. I'm like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. So I got Thanos' gloves, and I attached it to his actual arm. And I just actually like duplicated it twice, because his normal glove is like silver, but then he has like dark red accents. So I was like, oh, okay, I could just do this. And I thought it actually turned out okay. Sure, there's like that weird Infinity Stone like placement area, but it's whatever. Oh, and now I'm moving on to the big part, which I thought was going to take me forever. But it's the helmet of Potemkin. It's one of his most like iconic features, and I really wanted to get it right. So I did merge two hats together, and then I added like a weird little spike on top. And this was me just smoothing it out. I tried to add like a little pattern on top, but it just didn't look good, so I was like, you know what? I'm not doing all that. So I just moved on to smoothing out that little spike that he has, so it actually looks like a good spike. And then I had to make the jaw, and now his jaw was actually pretty simple to make because the geometry for the Mecha Brick stuff is really simple, so I just had to move it down a little bit. I did have to do some scaling because he has like, they aren't that sharp, you know? So yeah, I did get it to a point which I really do like, and I think the helmet turned out pretty fire. But then I was like, oh, yeah, Kingpin's face is leaking through. I have to get this guy a better face. And the better face that I ended up getting was the Ewok face, which fit him perfectly. Like, that's like Potemkin's face. I didn't have to do anything. This is me on Spotify. Shout out to my friend Ben Dominator, or Ben No Bricks. And maybe take a look at his music. He's been doing pretty good with that. But, yeah, this is me just putting the head on. And then a new process which I had to figure out was rigging. Oh, yeah, that's me looking at his new music. So yeah, I had to watch a tutorial real quick on just how to rig this guy up. And I did make some mistakes with it. I forgot to delete the empty on the Ewok face, so it messed up at the end. And I also just kind of put them in a bad spot, so it wouldn't really move correctly. A lot of Blender jargon, but you know, if you understand it, you understand it. But yeah, I watched the tutorial, I started rigging everything up, and you'll see me mess up in a second, where I see how the rig works, and it just kind of works really weird. I tried moving it, just didn't work, so I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just deal with it, until I got to the head, which I'll get to in a second, I think right now. Yeah. Oh, that's just the body. Okay, so right now, yeah, the head, I tried connecting it, and then the Ewok face just deleted, so I was like, ugh, gotta restart this. Okay, so maybe I can just make it better this time, because the rigs weren't like in the proper place. I'll just make it work better this time. So I put them all in the right spot, so when they move, they don't look crap. I rigged the hands first. Don't rig the head first, apparently, because it just wouldn't work. So I rigged the arms first, rigged the torso, but when I did rig the head for the final time, it did work. And I forgot his little ponytail on the back, so I went in and just got that and put it on the back, and we got ourselves Potemkin, and had to figure out the belt beforehand. And I was struggling with this. I was like, oh shit, should I even have a belt, or what am I gonna do here? Then I realized when you move the belt, it rotates in a weird way, but when you move the empty and the belt, the entire belt moves. So yeah, I got it working, and this is the model. You yapped a little too much. These things were a little weird, but yeah, you know what? I think they turned out okay. I could have done better with the lighting on this, but yeah, that's Potemkin, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and you guys have a great one. Bye-bye.